Hi everyone again, this is Andrew with Integrity Pro Roofing and Denver Roof Coatings. Today we're going to talk about what to look for when you're hiring a roofing contractor, and I'll be honest, this is going to be a little bit of a rant of just frustration. So in the last week or so, I've actually talked to 5 different potential clients that have called in, with all of whom had just some really bad experiences from roofing contractors that have gone out. And I think it really brings up the point, for us, we live in the Denver metro, Denver, Colorado area, so we get a lot of hail and things like that out here. And so for me, I see a lot of fraud that happens where contractors are telling people to file claims when there's really not enough damage for a claim, which really hurts your insurance. And then also, like, it's wintertime, right? We're like early spring right now. This is when roofers are the absolute hungriest right now, and so they've got no cash in the bank. So they're trying to tell people they need new roofs when they do not need a new roof. And so we're going to get into that. But that's the whole point of this. If you want more information on like how to hire a contractor, we actually did a video. It's on YouTube. It's how to choose the right contractor, and there'll be a note in the link below before that. But I'd also watch that one as well. So number one, we're going to talk about when you're looking to hire somebody, really do your due diligence on this contractor online. And in our other video, we kind of go into this point and take 5 minutes to talk about it, but just do your due diligence online. So ask your friends, family for referrals, collect some referrals, go online, look at those referrals, see who has the best ratings online, maybe find some of your own that you really like. And then I would call up to 5 people, 6 people if you want, and then only take the top 2 to 3 that are the first to respond back to you and get you an appointment scheduled with you. And that's who I would choose to actually come out and have them do the quote. I would use a local company as well. Especially if you're in a storm market and it's a storm season, there's going to be a lot of out-of-town people that come in, and there can be a lot of problems with some of those folks. So just be careful on that. Do your due diligence on that. Next of all is going to be number 2. Did they show you proof of the problem? So this is where the real pain point for me was. Last week I went out. We actually had a bunch of leads that came in. I actually had to go help people because we were behind schedule, running leads with people. Showed up to this person's house. It was actually on the market. They had a for sale sign in the front yard, and I was talking to the homeowner. I said, "Hey, so, what's going on?" And he said, "Hey, I just, a $1 million property, 7-figure property, the contract just fell through in the last hour." And I was like, "Why did it fall through?" He said, "Well, it's because of the roof. It fell through because of the roof." And I said, "Well, am I the first one out that you're having this?" No, you're the 5th person that's come out to come out to my property. And so I asked, what's the pain points? What's going on? And it's number one thing that he said. He's like, "I couldn't trust anything that the other 4 people have come out and said." And so I asked him, I was like, "Well, did they show you pictures? Did they show you what the problem was, or did they just talk to you about it?" He said, "They just talked to me." He's like, "I've never once seen a single photo of what's going on in my roof and why my whole deal just fell apart." And he was up against deadlines. He's moving out of state for a job. And so he was, he just lost $1 million sale because of this problem. So anyways, that's my rant, right? So you got to show proof when you're actually going up there. So if they're out there and somebody tells you need a new roof and they don't show you pictures, one, ask them for pictures. Guaranteed they took pictures when they were up there. So they got to have some sort of file or whatever. And get them to show you what's wrong. If they can't accurately explain it to you in a way that you understand what the problem is, then don't use that person. Call another person out, right? Get another opinion on that, right? If they show you pictures, especially of hail damage, if they show you pictures of storm damage and you can't see what they're talking about, no matter what they've done to explain it to you, you don't understand that, like, you don't have to file a claim. Nobody's forcing you to do that. Don't do that. Call for another opinion on that. Yeah, and again, if you're in a storm market, the biggest thing is you really got to watch it, especially in winter times when all the work slows down and there's snow out there and things like that. There's a lot of fraud that happens, and unfortunately people get stuck in holding the bag at the end of it, and the contractor gets away free. I mean, it doesn't hurt them at all if they make the homeowner jump through a bunch of hoops and file claims to get the insurance out there and they don't get the claim. So just be really careful on that. The last thing is, so do your due diligence, actually have them show proof of the work or the damage up there, and then the last question, really the most important question in this whole scenario, is who did you trust the most that actually came out? And this is like, who did you connect with? Who did you feel like you could have a conversation with and it didn't feel pushy, or whatever those buttons are for you that makes it. It's like, who did you trust? Not your neighbor or your parents or a friend or somebody from church or whatever it is that referred somebody. It's like, who did you personally trust the most? Because that's ultimately who's paying the bill, right? You're the one paying the bill. A quick thing to talk about here, most established roofing companies, like if you have asphalt shingles on your roof, which is the most common roof here in Denver Metro, we're all selling basically the same thing. We're all selling you a good product of shingles with different brands. Some may be GAF or Owens Corning or Certainteed, but they're all pretty good brands, right? I mean, there's nuances in all those, but we're not going to get into that. It's all good brands, but what you're really buying is you're buying the service of them. So as you read those reviews and what people are talking about, people aren't saying, oh, they put a GAF roof on my house and I wanted Owens Corning. Like, that's not in the description. That's not what people are complaining about. There's a few complaints like they did a bad job, or it was messy, they didn't fix or didn't clean up, right? And there's some workmanship quality there. But the number one thing is that people are complaining about is the service. Like, somebody came out, sold me, a different person came out and talked to me after that. Pretty quick. I've talked to all these different people, no idea what happened on my property, couldn't get people to call me back, and all these things, right? It's all communication, and they're frustrated with the service, so their expectations were not met. And that's the number one thing. So that's why I talk about, like, service is what you're really hiring when you're comparing multiple contractors. I would try to be very careful about not always picking the bottom one. If you have the ability to not pick the bottom price, really make your decision on who do you trust the most, who's going to give you the best service, because that's really what you're getting in situations like that. So again, we'll just review these again. Do due diligence online. Did they actually show you proof of the problem? And ultimately then go with who you can trust. If you're in the Denver Metro market in Colorado, definitely look us up. We'd love to come out and give you a second, third, fourth opinion, fifth opinion if that might be the case. Definitely let us know. We'd love to have fun. Thanks.